Hello, everyone. Hey, this is Vaughn, Spirit of Health, spiritofhealthkc.com, coming at you live to talk about our topic of the week, which is kind of a general topic this week. It's vitamins, minerals, probiotics, enzymes, kind of the basic, fundamental, foundational things for life, for health. These are the foundational building blocks that God created us with. When He created us out of dust of the earth, we need these basic foundational nutrients. And it's a big, important topic. And so we're going to go through, we probably could have done a Q&A on like each one. So I'll try to keep it fairly short. Usually these are about 30 minutes, but we'll see because I have a lot of good questions here. So let's just get right into the questions. I brought a few things for show and tell just in case it helps. But let's get right into the questions. So Charlie Merla Turner, what supplements do you recommend to get the vitamins and minerals needed? There are so many options, it's a bit overwhelming. Well, that's honestly a tough one to answer. I mean, I will tell you the truth. Whether this is good or bad, I'll let you determine. But my family, none of us have ever taken a multivitamin. I know that might sound weird to you guys, but for whatever reason, we just don't. Like, we make lots of smoothies, and we do lots of greens and minerals, and my kids munch on chlorella tablets, and we put minerals in all of our drinks and our foods. And so we really feel like we get everything we need through some of the supplements and the different things that we do. So we don't necessarily take a multivitamin, although I'm a big fan of them. Those are basic things that we need. So I am a believer that minerals are the most important. I personally believe minerals are more important than vitamins. They say vitamin actually came from the word from vital mineral. And if you look at the history of the discovery of all these things and what the Lord has kind of shown me about how we're dust of the earth, like those minerals are the foundational components on how the human body works. I'm not saying the vitamins aren't important too. But I would say, how do you get everything you need? I would say to do mineral supplements. Like, I love the BioCean, like that's our new favorite. We'll probably talk about that more later, but it's ocean water, same mineral composition as human blood. It's basically like getting a blood transfusion. So everything starts to work better, the cells start to work better, they start to exchange information properly. It's going to open up detoxification channels, it's going to help with cramping, basic muscle function, nerve function, it's going to build blood. We could go on forever, but those minerals are crucially important. So I would say, if you just want to get the things that you need, you can take a multivitamin, that's fine. We like the Mega Food, it's kind of the one we've been promoting lately. We love the Mega Food Multi, but there's a lot of good whole food multivitamins out there. Mega Food is just one of them. But I would say if you don't want to take a bunch of stuff, take a good mineral supplement like the BioCean minerals, and then just incorporate other things into your diet. Incorporate greens, maybe get a good vitamin C powder. Bees and things like that, they're more important for people who are deficient in it, who need it for healing purposes or medicinal purposes. So not everybody just needs to take a B complex. Again, nobody in my family ever has. And I'm not saying those aren't good for some people, but it's not necessary. It depends on other lifestyle factors. All right, Christine Gumat. What are your thoughts on taking 2 different brands of probiotics? I take Flourish and Plexus. That's fine. There's a lot of good probiotics on the market. I'm going to show you our new favorite one, and I'm going to give you a couple, because there's a lot of questions out here on probiotics, so we might kind of hit multiple questions. But our gut needs good, healthy flora. Everybody knows that. And there's multiple probiotics on the market, some better than others. There have been tests done that show that they're not as beneficial as we'd like to think they are, because a lot of times they're destroyed by stomach acid, and so we don't get the benefits of all the probiotics actually into the intestinal tract where we need it. So there's different products that help for that. I mean, I would say take the one that works for you. I know that sounds kind of generic, but some people take a probiotic and they notice a huge difference in their health and how they feel. Not everybody necessarily, again, needs to take a probiotic, has to take a probiotic. I think it's a good thing, but ideally we get to the point where we don't need to take probiotics or a bunch of supplements if everything's working right. So you mentioned 2. I don't really know those brands. The 2 we're using is a combination of this Cytoflora by BioRay. Cytoflora is lysates. It's actually the end byproduct of what probiotics produce. So all the serotonin and the B vitamins and all the good things that probiotics do, this is taking those in a concentrated form. Now this is kind of one of BioRay's big products, because children who have behavioral issues, even like non-verbal children, will start speaking when they take this, because it clearly shows that a lot of the issues are gut issues and gut dysbiosis, poor flora issues. So taking this is great because it flushes all the bad bacteria out of the gut and immediately provides that serotonin and the B vitamins that the body needs that the probiotics normally would do on their own. So couple that with this product that this company is called Humarian, and on the label it says Probonics. It's the same company. But this is a really cool product because this one gets through the stomach acid into the intestines. It's so effective that people only need 6 drops a day if you're a child 30 pounds and under, and 8 drops a day for everybody else. So as opposed to taking the billions and billions and billions of probiotics, the reason they keep increasing these billions and billions of strains of probiotics is very little of it's actually getting through the system and doing any good. So that's why we're taking 20 billion and 50 billion and 80 billion and 100 billion in hopes that some of it gets through and provides some benefit. Their probiotics are actually coated with this specific acid that allows it to bypass the stomach acid and get into the gut. And again, it's so effective that you only need a few drops a day. So this is one we've started using recently, and I'm going to really encourage a lot of people to do. They have a lot of neat testimonials on their website. So I guess to answer your question, I don't know those brands. There's a lot of good probiotics on the market. These are a couple ideas that, especially, like, we're big on kids' health, so this is going to be great for kids, but also for adults too. So again, getting the end products that probiotics produce and taking a good probiotic that gets past the stomach acid into the intestinal tract. We've been using Renew Life for years. I think they have good probiotic formulas, and again, there's a lot of other good ones out there. Okay, Jonas Burgum. Many promote raw food. After reading Healing with Whole Foods, they surprisingly recommend you cook nearly all of your foods because raw food weakens digestion, is too cooling for your body, etc. What does heat do to vitamins, minerals, fats, carbs, and proteins which survive cooking in heat and which don't? Man, that could be a long answer to that question. I definitely changed some of my thoughts on this, but I really feel like people get really caught up and worked up about raw food versus cooked foods, and oh my gosh, all my enzymes, and I'm going to lose all my enzymes, and I'm going to lose everything when I cook it. And you talk to a raw foodist, and they're like, don't cook anything. So I really feel like we get way worked up about that stuff. The truth is most of your nutrients are still intact if you lightly cook your food or steam vegetables or do something like that. Now, if you're majorly frying things in heavy oils, of course, that's going to be a problem. But yeah, I agree in that raw foods are problematic for a lot of people. I had a gal in here just today who's like, I haven't been able to eat raw foods for 3 years. It's not that raw foods are bad. It's just that her gut, her digestion, where her system is, it's too weak to handle raw foods. If you look at the people promoting raw food diets, for the most part, they live in warm parts of the earth. All these guys who are going crazy over raw foods are in Hawaii, and they're in California, and they're in Florida. I don't see a lot of people in Minnesota and Alaska being like, eat raw foods. So again, so much depends on your culture, where you live, your environment, your current health situation. Try not to get caught up in raw food or not, or cooked or not, or oh my gosh, I'm going to lose all my nutrients because I cooked my food. Because according to Chinese medicine, your stomach should be like a bubbling cauldron. And if a weak person had a weak digestive system, they would never, ever, ever give that person any raw foods. Because you're right, they have to create heat that they don't have because their system's weak. They have to try to generate heat that they don't have to heat up the food, because your body can't actually break down and digest anything until it heats it up. The body's 98.6 degrees. And so raw foods are great in the summer. Eat for the seasons. Raw foods are great if you live in a warm climate 24/7, which some people are blessed enough. My wife's from Hawaii. Now she's stuck here. It's different. You're not going to feel good eating raw food when it's 5 degrees out and it's snowing and it's icy. I mean, that's the Midwest for you. So I think there's a lot of factors with that, and let's just not get caught up on that too much. I would rather focus on eating healthy foods than worrying about how much they're raw or they're not. So, Janet LaRue, digestive enzymes. Probiotics, prebiotics, any info would be great. Thanks. Again, so many of these questions could have really long answers. We've been using DigestZyme Plus by US Enzymes. It's the best enzyme on the market. It's got 23 different digestive enzymes in it. No other company has even close to that many different enzymes in it. It works for every kind of food you're eating. You need it if your system's compromised. One of the biggest problems is undigested proteins getting undigested through the system and out into the body, and that's causing all these reactions. The gluten sensitivities and the dairy sensitivities. It's undigested proteins. I see moms all the times with babies that are breaking out in rashes. It's the mom not digesting her food, undigested proteins getting out through her digestive tract into her lymphatic system. Lymph fluid is breast milk, and the babies are consuming these undigested proteins and causing the rashes and the breakouts. So it's mom's diet that can help your kids the most when you're having these issues. So yes, digestive enzymes, really helpful for a lot of people. I recommend the DigestZyme Plus. The other thing I don't have here is hydrochloric acid. If you eat meat and it sits in your stomach like a rock and you're getting reflux, you need stomach acid. If you have H. pylori, you've had any kind of things where you have infections in your gut, you probably have low stomach acid. So I recommend people taking hydrochloric acid if they have low stomach acid. If you have too much stomach acid, which is actually way more rare, that means you don't do well with coffee and citrus and tomatoes. That's an overacid stomach. But most people have low stomach acid, and that's the number one thing you need to digest your food. So get the stomach acid, the doctor's best. We have one called hydrochloric acid, betaine, HCl, and bitters. There's all kinds of hydrochloric acid supplements out there, but that would be the first start, and then the digestive enzymes. We kind of talked about some of the probiotics a little bit. Alan Alicia Widows, tell us about kombucha. How often should you drink it? And I was looking at the store, many are made with sugar. Kombucha is one of those things, I just have to be honest with you. It's great for some and absolutely horrible for others. I think we have this belief that kombucha is healthy for all human beings. I will tell you from experience with myself and working with other people that the vast majority of people I tell, do not drink kombucha. And it really surprises them, and they get really sad, because we really love our kombucha. The problem is not just the sugar, it's a wild fermentation, and it feeds yeast and fungus and mold in the body. I had a gal one time who came in and she goes, man, I drink kombucha because I know it's good for me. And she goes, every time I drink it, I feel bad, and my head hurts. And I'm like, that's because it's actually feeding infectious organisms in your body. It's not good for you. That's not everybody. Some people it's good. It's got B vitamins. It helps their gut. I know our little girls, if they're having a bad tummy or they're not feeling good, I give them a little sip of ginger kombucha and boom, it knocks it out. So I'm saying it's great stuff, but a lot of people it's not. So we don't assume that just because something's good for you, it's good for you, because it depends on you and your situation and how you're feeling and what's going on with you. Joanna Patton, there's so many probiotics on the market. Which are the most effective? It's not when you refrigerate, so I'm not sure how effective it is. You don't have to have probiotics that are only refrigerated. I mentioned the Probonics. This one doesn't have to be refrigerated. It works amazing. The Cytoflora, those are two of our favorites. I think these are the most effective because, again, most people's guts, if they have dysbiosis, they're not producing the nutrients that probiotics produce to help you stay healthy in your gut and in your brain and those kind of things. So this provides that right away, the Cytoflora. And again, this Humarian or Probonics product is the only one I know of that completely gets through the stomach acid and gets into the gut. And I mentioned Renew Life. I mean, there's other decent ones out there, but I'm just giving you what is best from my experience. Lori Massey, vitamins recommended for kids. So if you want to do a multivitamin for kids, again, I'm more big on the minerals. I would rather you get the BioOcean 3.5 or 0.9 minerals and put them in their water. There's virtually no taste to it. You can throw it in any shake or smoothie or anything. That's easy. There is the Mega Food Kids Multi. It doesn't taste gloriously wonderful, so throw it in a shake or smoothie or something like that. Don't just give them to them straight. They'll be like, I don't want that. So they actually have a tablet, too, for kids that are a little bit older, so I like the Mega Food stuff. You can do the chewable gummies and stuff like that, but a lot of them are just sugar pills. I mean, we have some of those. I think we got the Nordic Natural gummies. I mean, I don't even bring those home because they're so sweet, and the kids just like, I want them, because it's like they're eating candy. So I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. So we try to stay away from the high sugar ones. Jennifer Griffin, I think somebody asked this question later too. Will taking digestive enzymes weaken your pancreas to make its own? And the answer to that, from what I know, is no, absolutely not. I have done a lot of seminars and trainings with people on enzymes, and specifically this company, US Enzymes. Your body produces lots and lots of enzymes, and it needs lots of enzymes, and it uses lots of enzymes. You're never going to take enzymes and it's going to shut down your body from producing its own enzymes. Now, synthetic hormones and chemicals and people doing the hormone replacement therapy, yes, that can shut down your own hormone production because those are synthetics. You could never take enough enzymes that would shut down your body and have your body stop producing enzymes. Every time you eat something, it's going to produce enzymes. And trust me, you're not producing enough enzymes you need for all the functions that your body needs, especially as we age. That's why enzyme therapy is so amazing, so powerful, and that's why I recommend enzymes to people all the time for various conditions, because we don't have enough, and we'll probably never have enough. So just keep taking the enzymes, and it can only help. Let's just say that. Don Timmons, if you're eating a healthy diet, juicing, smoothies, fruits and veggies, healthy meals, can you get too much vitamins and minerals if you're taking supplements? Which ones can be harmful if too much is taken? Which are important to take daily that you can't get enough of in your diet? Just, again, depends on people's situations and what they need. I mean, the common ones that people are deficient in are, this is a good time to mention this. The most common deficiencies is electrolyte minerals. So if you want to get the most common deficiency in your system that'll probably benefit you, it's magnesium. So Calm, the powdered magnesium, the Health and Wisdom magnesium chloride oil, and do the foot soaks. I recommend that all the time for so many situations. If you want a good mineral that just covers everything because it's just like your blood, it's like a blood transfusion, get the Biocean minerals. It's the perfect balance of the same minerals that's in your blood. So that's going to kind of cover everything related to minerals. Second one after that would be iodine, which I don't have here, but Exodine by Cedar Bear, the Iodoral, if you want a higher dosage, by Botics Research. People need 12 to 13 milligrams of iodine a day. It's amazing for infections. It's amazing for detoxing the body, the thyroid, the pineal gland, removing fluoride from the body, bromides, all these toxins that are in our body. Iodine is a very powerful detoxification tool. So I would say magnesium and electrolytes, number 1. Iodine, number 2. And number 3, I would say iron. So many people are anemic. Anybody with brown eyes, for the most part, has liver issues, and they're low in minerals, they're low in iron, they're anemic. That's super common. And so I would take a plant-based iron. So I got the Blood Builder here by Megafood, which they won awards for how it builds blood and increases iron levels. It would never cause constipation because that comes from the, not synthetic, but it's the elemental iron out of the earth. And my joke is you wouldn't take a nail and put it in water and hope some of that iron absorbs into the water and drink it to get your iron. But that's what doctors are giving you when they give you this ferrous sulfate and these different elemental forms of iron. Iron and minerals must grow through plants for them to be the most effective in your body. That's how God designed it. God designed minerals to be in the soil, minerals to grow through plants, and that's how we consume them, and that's how they work in the body, not by taking a lot of these poorer forms, these elemental forms like the doctors are prescribing. So to answer your question, yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're doing, but if you're doing juices and smoothies and throwing lots of greens and chlorella and spirulina and minerals and all those kind of things, you can get what you need. When Eva Phillips, when you're trying to restore your gut from dysbiosis, how many different means of probiotics should you use? Using probiotics and collagen bone broth, is that enough? What are your thoughts on Megaspore biotics? How can antibiotics affect your gut? So we know antibiotics destroy everything. They're very damaging long term. I see a lot of kids especially damaged by antibiotics at a young age. Just had a woman in here before that was in vitro, had to be taking antibiotics just because of complications with the birth, and it really affected the child. And so there's just a lot of issues with antibiotics. I'm not familiar with Megaspore, that particular product. I will mention that just a simple urine test, a lab test like Great Plains Lab, there's one called an oat test and there's one called a mycotox. And we actually combine them in something called an infection profile. And what you can do is send a urine sample to the lab and find out if you have gut dysbiosis. Do you have yeast, fungus, candida, clostridia, mold toxins? These are the things destroying and damaging people's guts and causing all the problems and the digestive issues and the bloating and even the behavioral issues in kids and the brain disorders all the way to autism and really severe conditions. So you want to ideally do some kind of a test to find out what infections you have going on in your gut, and that's going to determine what supplements are going to be best for you. So, and we kind of talked about some of the good probiotics already. Paul Jesse, we know the body shouldn't have to be reliant on digestive enzymes. What can we take to help the pancreas start producing more enzymes on its own? So it's just what I said. You can take lots of enzymes and the body will still keep producing them because we need them. And if you want to help your pancreas, you can do Pancreas Tonic by Dr. Morse. You can do black seed oil. Things that heal and stimulate pancreas function. Let's see. Eva Phillips again. How do you know when your body is or isn't absorbing the vitamins and minerals in your food? It's hard to say for sure. I don't know. I guess the classic signs would be if you're super pale or you're anemic or your muscles are super weak, or a lot of people are so thin they can't gain weight because of different issues going on in their body. So, it's hard to know for sure. I do default to giving people liquids a lot of liquid minerals, liquid probiotics, things that don't take any digestive effort at all. We love the new protein by US Enzymes called Proteinzyme, that within 30 minutes, the enzymes in it have it fully digested, broken down in the muscles, and working without any digestive effort. So a lot of people will benefit from just taking liquids and really easy to process and digest supplements until their gut and their digestion gets stronger. All right. Ann Martin, I'm hearing stuff about prebiotics, probiotics. I've heard we shouldn't be taking probiotics and instead prebiotics, so your body will learn to make its own. Can you address this? Honestly, I'm not an expert in it. I haven't studied prebiotics a lot. What I see is a lot of infections in people's gut. You can take prebiotics all day long, and I don't think it's going to overcome these infectious issues going on in the gut. I think you have to clear out the bad infections. I think you need to take products that cleanse and heal and repair a damaged gut lining, and then maybe the prebiotics will be more helpful. But if the environment's really sick and really toxic, there's no good healthy bacteria for the prebiotics to feed. So I just, and I'm sure there's other people out there that know more about this and that have different opinions on it, and that's fine. But I would say, do these kind of things, the Cytoflora, the Humarian, the Probonics, maybe do a yeast cleanse, take some oregano, aloe, different things that can help cleanse and flush out the bowels, and then I think the prebiotics would probably be more effective. Leanne Star Metcher. Oh gosh, I haven't seen you in a while, Leanne. If having to take antibiotics...
She's watching right now.
Oh, hi. Hi, Leanne. If having to take antibiotics, some have said don't take a probiotic until you finish the round. It wipes out all the good. Others say take a probiotic, take several hours after the antibiotic. What's the correct answer? I've always said finish your antibiotic and then start your probiotic. I know how much of a full spectrum just killer the antibiotics are. I'd say the only possible exception to that is if you're taking an antibiotic and you do want to take a probiotic, so to try to maintain some balance in there, I would say take it at night before bed. And that way you're sleeping for 8 hours and you're giving the probiotics a chance to work. But in general, I usually say finish your round of antibiotics, then jump on taking your high-dose probiotics. We use 7-Day Ultimate Flora, but when that's complete, what strength should we be using for every day to restore the gut? Is there any other products recommended? So again, I would go back to these two. Cytoflora is not necessarily for long-term forever. It's short-term, and it's to just kind of really flush out the system. Works great for kids especially. But if you just want a good everyday probiotic, I would try the Probonics or the Humarian or the Renew Life probiotics. A good, there's women's specific one, like a women's probiotic. Mega Food, This company has one called Mega Flora for women. They have a Mega Flora for Baby and Me. The women's probiotics are good. This probiotics has a women's formula too, because there is specific flora for UTIs, for vaginal flora. I mean, very specific to women. So I would say take a women's probiotic formula because it is more specific to that. Angela Gonzalez, my toddler eats a whole food diet, but I'd like to supplement just to be certain all bases are covered. Would an organic vitamin actually be better than her previous Enfamil vitamin, which I imagine is synthetic? I could be wrong as I know very little about this, but I do know it's full of extra ingredients I'd rather avoid. So yeah, Enfamil is going to be a lot of sugar and synthetic vitamins. It's kind of junky stuff. I would say, yeah, if you just wanted a basic multi, I would say you could do the Mega Food Kids multi. And the minerals. The kiddos need the minerals, especially growing children. I mean, Summer's here watching the video, but we did a training with this company. Could you believe those before and after pictures of the kiddos? Yes. I mean, these are like severely malnourished, skinny kids. Get on the minerals, and boom, all of a sudden in 3 months, they're fat, healthy babies. It was awesome. It was so like encouraging and exciting. Eczema going away, like all kinds of issues with these kids getting better from taking minerals. And again, I think it's a foundational thing that the body needs based on how God designed us. And I think that's what makes healthy blood. And the life of all flesh is in the blood. So you're building blood, you're restoring blood, you're healing the blood, you're healing the body through the minerals. So I would say do the minerals and like a good kids multi. If your kids are weird like mine, they munch on chlorella tablets and seaweed and stuff that like people be like, how do you get your kids to eat those? Well, we just introduce it at a young age and they don't know any different. So they don't think it's weird. They think it's normal. That's the key. If the parents act like it's weird, then the kids are going to think it weird. Like, where do we think the kids pick up this stuff, that everything green is gross and all this stuff? Like, we get it from our culture. We get it from the parents. All right, Angela Gonzalez, for adults, I'm interested in healing my body and I need to cleanse more. Will it be beneficial to take mineral supplements prior to cleansing my kidneys and liver? Yeah, absolutely. Again, I'm really a fan of minerals. Not too much to tax your body and tax your organs, which is what happens when you drink tap water and you get all those inorganic minerals that build up in your kidney tubes and cause calcifications and stones and all those problems. But if you're taking a good, pure, clean, ocean mineral or electrolyte mineral or something like that, I think that's very powerful. I think that's very healing to the body. Sometimes when you go on a hardcore cleanse, like a kidney cleanse or a liver cleanse, you might not take a bunch of supplements. You might not take minerals. You might just do a bunch of citrus and things that kind of flush out and cleanse out the kidneys, like the apple cider vinegar and the citrus and all the herbs and stuff like that, and give your body a break for a while. But in general, yeah, I'm definitely a fan of doing the minerals to build and strengthen the body and build the blood. Laura Grimson, I think. Can you overdose on taking too many vitamins? We take Morningstar minerals and green vibrance, the green powder. Do we need to be on a multivitamin as well? It can be a bit confusing to me. Yeah, you, me, and everybody else. There's a lot of information out there, isn't there? So Morningstar minerals and green vibrance, great products. You're not going to overdo that, that's for sure. People overdo it when they take a B vitamin complex and they take 4 a day, and it makes them feel weird. It's just, the body can only handle so much and only needs so much. It's not dangerous. It's just going to flush out what it doesn't need. I mean, that's the great thing about natural things versus synthetics. But no, you can't really OD on vitamins. You do too much vitamin C and you get diarrhea. You do too much magnesium and you get diarrhea. Like, it doesn't hurt you. It's just like my body's like, I don't need all that. I'm gonna flush some of this stuff out. So, yeah, but what you're taking with the Morningstar minerals and the green vibrance, you're taking whole foods. You're taking plant-based nutrients. It's like what your body needs and craves and wants. And so I don't think you need a multivitamin. Again, the only thing I would say is if you want, you might do something that has more of the electrolyte minerals in it, because you're not getting all the electrolytes with the Inner Vitality Morningstar minerals. That would be more like the BioOcean product. Or Morningstar actually has another product called Energy Boost 70 that's higher in the electrolytes for that specific purpose. That's why it's called Energy Boost 70, because the electrolytes are really good for boosting energy in the body. Last question. Carrie Poe Butler. Best iron supplements. When do you really need it? And how do you keep from getting constipated? 1 year ago, my ferritin level was 14, then it was up to 34. The doctor said, keep taking your iron every day. Of course, they never told me I needed it last year. Okay, so I mentioned it before, but it's the difference between elemental iron, which is mostly what doctors prescribe, and plant-based iron. You should never, ever, ever get constipated from your iron. If you get constipated from your iron, you're taking the wrong iron. Stop taking it. Take a plant-based iron. You know, people don't eat green leafy vegetables and get constipated. And there's tons of iron in green leafy vegetables. So I would say take a plant-based iron supplement like Blood Builder by Megafood, like the, what's that one called? Herbal Iron by Wish Garden. Take herbs that are high in like yellow dock and different things that are high in iron. There's all kinds of herbs that are naturally high in iron. So if you're taking the right thing, you should never have to worry about constipation. Now, when do you really need it? If you have liver issues, you need to take it continuously. If you have, again, I mentioned it earlier, brown eyes, people are usually anemic, and they have blood issues and liver issues, they're going to benefit from taking minerals and iron every day. Now, I know we don't want to be maybe reliant on supplements, but you know, the iron thing's a big deal. It's oxygen flow in your body. It's energy. It's like it brings people back to life when they take it, especially women who are pregnant and nursing really notice a huge benefit from it. Again, it's really the root of it is kind of the liver issues. So if you were to do some hardcore cleansing and do some liver cleanses and start taking a bunch of liver herbs, that actually a lot of the liver herbs are naturally high in iron. I mean, isn't God like an amazing designer? I mean, it's not like coincidence. And so if you do some good cleansing and do some good herbs, like you don't necessarily need to keep taking iron, but you're probably going to have to do some work on your liver. And the fact that you need the iron and you feel better when you take the iron and you're showing anemic in your blood clearly shows that you need to do some things to help your blood and to help clean up your blood. And that mainly comes from the liver, cleansing your blood, and your lymphatic system, which detoxifies your entire body. So if you can get those systems cleaned out and in line and you're eating well, then you'll be okay. But, you know, for some people, you know, that's just going to be a lifelong journey, a process. So, wow, we got through all those questions. Were there any questions live or?
No questions. Glenda Sims said, love the truth you're teaching.
Aw, thanks, Glenda.
And Ann Martin said, okay, that makes sense. Thank you so much.
Great. Okay, well, God bless you all. We'll see you next week.